There's this moment of realization that people get when they see a paper sculpture.
Paper is pretty durable. The things that you can do it three-dimensionally as well as two-dimensionally is really incredible. Conflict is part of who I am as an Israeli.
It has such a wide range of cultural inspirations and sort of political histories.
Ants are really ferocious animals.
Transcribing the English translation of the Quran.
This year marks the 75th anniversary of Montalvo having a continuous presence of artists in residence.
And works featured in the show range from, quite traditional uses of paper as a register for marks made by ink, made by pencil, made by paint, to works that are really kind of expanding the experimental boundaries of paper and using it more of a sort of sculptural material.
These are insects.
It's based on an 18th century war paintings, drawing the similarities of ants and how we are alike in terms of our war strategies.
The style that Sandow has used here is he's drawn from the text of American graffiti to make his own particular font. So he sort of fused an American tradition with an Islamic tradition. Paper began in China in the 1st century. And it went west and it went east, and it was the Arab culture that brought it through Spain into Europe. So that's another kind of nice circling back around of the sort of role of paper and the tradition of paper, and then through this contemporary lens.
Most of it is based around sort of a map of the Montalvo grounds. I started off as working in drawings, largely drawing on paper, and then I would draw elements, cut them out, recollage them back onto the surface of the paper. So I was always interested in this kind of idea of paper as texture.
Even some ant colonies and species have even something to the degree of suicide bombers. They would have ants who they feed to the point of explosion and they throw them at the enemies. So when they have wars between ants and termites, it's very similar to what we have, to the point of it's really disarming.
These are sort of handmade screen prints of the individual tiles, and these are paper sets that you can purchase and make yourself.
I think there's an industry for pre-making it, sort of like when you buy barbecue and you pay to get it assembled.
Yeah.
I think you can, there's a market for someone downloading it and doing, because if I tried to make these, they would look kind of not so square.
Once I have sort of a body of material to draw upon, I start creating those elements and seeing how they interact with one another.
And I kind of perceive my studio as my head.
Exquisite beauty of like a handmade traditional piece of paper. You can see the fibers.
And you're seeing the works on paper, but artists, writers, composers, musicians, dancers, they leave something behind to sort of have a record of their time here.